Hello and welcome to Women in Action with Bev Jessup. And today we're live with G. I can't wait to introduce you to G because she trained as a psychotherapist. But I'm going to actually not tell you everything because I want her to tell you something about herself. And we're talking about money mindset. What sort of difficulties that we as speech therapists have when we're thinking of transitioning from offline therapy to online therapy, and the kind of money issues that we might have around setting up practice. So welcome. I'm going to bring on G now. Hello, G.
Hello, everyone. I'm very, happy to be here. So thank you so much, Bev, for inviting me over.
Okay, so we're in three places today, all in at the same time. So
Amazing.
we're in Teletherapy in Action Secrets Facebook group, my Facebook profile, and in YouTube. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and what you do.
Okay, so I'm originally from Brazil, but I live in London for about, let me think, for about 17 years already. So quite a long time. So most my adulthood, I live here. So I am a psychotherapist specialized in CBT and anxiety and how to overcome fears. And I also, mentor people, coaches, business coaches, any type of coaches really, and psychotherapists and therapists and healers. So that's what I do. So basically I'm a business mentor now, and I had to really overcome a lot of resistance when I took on board this new adventure. So
Yes.
I had this intuition in my mind. So that inner voice telling me that I needed to do this, and I've been postponing that for so long, and then finally I surrendered. So now, as apart from being a psychotherapist, I also mentor people, therapists. I like to call this field helping professionals, because that's what we do. We help people, isn't it? I don't think there is like a proper title, but that's how I like to call it, either healing professionals or helping professionals, because that's what we do. We heal people. We heal them, sometimes physically, sometimes mentally, but we all work with the intention to help them.
Yes, yeah, that's brilliant. So I mean, when you said you had your own struggles, so what inspired you to go from doing your face-to-face, I guess you were doing face-to-face psychotherapy, to
Actually, I
like
did a
now doing
little
this
bit.
coaching? Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked for the NHS. So obviously that I was seeing clients face to face, and when I started my private practice, I worked for a few months only with one-to-one clients face to face, and then I moved online. But that was back in 2015, because my daughter was small. She was a baby, really. She was 6 months old. So I didn't want to travel a lot because I was breastfeeding. So for me, it was a struggle, because I
Yeah.
came home and I really, it was so difficult. I had to pump my milk out, and I
Yeah,
think all mothers will relate with that.
of course, yeah. I
So I
mean, so
thought,
that's the advantage of working online, isn't it?
that's great. So I asked all my clients if they would be okay if we moved our therapy sessions online, and some of them were not sure. They were unsure, but then once we started, everyone loved it. I had an amazing feedback, because most of my clients are women, and they have to look after their children, obviously. So
Hmm.
most of them, they had to organize childcare, and by being home, they didn't need to do that. They would give them the tablet, go to another room, and I'll be doing therapy sometimes in my pajamas. That's what they told me, and that was amazing. So I had an amazing feedback. So I never actually went back to work face to face. I kept working online since then, since 2015.
Yeah. So when people now come to you, looking at the business coaching side of things,
Mm-hmm.
they obviously have certain pains and struggles. I mean, I know that I coach speech therapists now who are struggling with thinking, well, I want to transition from face to face to online, and there's so much tech to get used to. And then you need to think about starting your own business online, and will people trust you? And there's so many mindset issues to try and overcome.
Yeah.
What sort of struggles do you come across in your coaching
I think
experience?
I think there's always two elements to it. One, they don't know how to do it, so the technical side. So that's what you help them with, isn't it? So they
Mm-hmm.
need someone to guide them. They really need to know how these work. Otherwise, obviously, it's not going to work. And second is the mindset. So they don't believe they can do it. It might seem very difficult. All these technical things, I never did that. It's different. And then all those mental blocks get into the way and prevent them to actually take action. So I think the most important thing is to really accept that you need help, right? And I think this is the major thing, because before they take the step to actually look for help, there will be a lot of blockages they will need to overcome to actually realize that, okay, I really want to do this, so I'm gonna ask someone to help me. So that's where the mind blocks comes in, and that's what I really like to focus on. Obviously, I help with the other side as well, all the technical stuff and how to get clients and all of that lot. But I think the most important thing, at least for my clients, is to get these mind blocks away, so then they can take the actions they need to take to grow their business online.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like, I know I've come across speech therapists said, well, I've always done face to face, and now I've got to go to online, and maybe I'm newly qualified and I just don't feel confident enough to do that. So when I compare myself to my more experienced colleagues, or competitors, I will think, oh, well, maybe I won't charge as much
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not experienced enough.
Yeah.
What do you think about that sort of
I
those
think
feelings?
this is all about fear, really. If you go deeper and deeper onto the why these thoughts are happening, is about fear, and that fear will create a lot of different emotions, and those emotions will make us uncomfortable. So we try to avoid that feeling, right? So that's why we call it blockages, because once you're feeling uncomfortable, your mind will try to protect you from that feeling. So then all these other thoughts will come into play, trying to convince you, don't do that. Okay, so you want to avoid that discomfort. That's your mind's job. Your mind job is to keep you well and alive. And sometimes what we say to ourselves, and sometimes we don't even realize, we just think about it, is like, oh, this is gonna kill me, oh, this technology is gonna kill me, right? So I prefer to do something else than actually sit down in front of a camera and do a live video. And so all of this, what are you telling yourself, right? So you're telling yourself that you prefer to die than sit in front of the computer and make a live video or go
Yeah.
online,
So, I
right?
mean,
So
sometimes we actually end up getting sick, don't we? We might get a migraine
yeah,
or something like that, because
exactly.
just to avoid
Because
having
we don't
to
want to do
go.
it, right? We
Yeah,
don't want to do
exactly.
it. So your brain is actually saying to you, don't worry, I'll get you out of this situation, I'll give you a migraine. So then you have a perfect excuse not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I have to be honest that, when you bring in new tech, so like now we're on using StreamYard, and
Mm-hmm,
that's like new. I've only been using it for 2 weeks, so it's a
mm-hmm,
new tech for me. But I didn't have time to think about, oh, I haven't brought someone on StreamYard before. This is new. And
mm-hmm.
because I didn't have time to think about that, I just
Yeah,
like, oh, do it, just
you
get
just
on
do
with
it.
it.
Perfect. Yeah.
And it's worked. Last week I made a mistake, and mistakes are okay, isn't it? Because last week I went live in StreamYard and I forgot to bring my video into the box. So
Mm-hmm.
people didn't see my video, they just saw a kind of like a black screen, and they
Uh-huh.
could hear me talking. and I spent 20 odd minutes talking about something or other, and they couldn't even see my video. So I had to record it again. But, you know, we learn from these mistakes, don't we?
It's absolutely fine, because if you see that mistake wasn't that bad, because actually you end up with a podcast instead of a live streaming video. So it's okay. So what we need to understand is that you need to take action, because when you do it, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, but you did the task you had in mind, and that has a positive impact on your brain, because it ticked a box. So you planned something and you did it. So to your brain, it's like done. And you feel more confident next time. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if you forgot to put the video on, that's okay, because you meant to be doing that talk and you delivered. So for your brain, it's just like ticking the box. It's done. That's it. And then next time you feel more confident because you know you did it. So then you come into a successful loop, right? So you feel confident because you made the action. So that action will bring you results. Those results will bring you success. That success will increase your confidence.
Yeah.
Then you are in a positive loop. So you do it even if it's not perfect. We need to take this perfectionism out of our dictionary. Don't expect to be perfect. Just don't.
Okay. I think some people call it messy action. I've heard a coach call it messy action.
That's great. Yeah, it's a great word. I love it. And it is, and this is life. Okay, I had my dog barking on my life so many times, even when I was recording my program. It's okay. I had, my children sometimes running. That's fine. This is what we made of. We are humans. We're not robots. So we can't expect anyone to be perfect, because we are not perfect.
Yeah. So how do we overcome that fear of like comparing us to others? We think, well, my competitors don't charge that much, so I should either stay in line with them or go under, just to undercut them or something.
Yeah. So if we look, there's two sides of the coin here. If we look on the marketing side, the advice would be look for the prices. Okay, so do a little bit of research and see how much people are charging. Then you put your price right in the middle. That would be the ideal situation in marketing. But if you look on the holistic side, okay, what we want to do is to make sure that you feel good with that price. So if you feel good charging 75 per session, great, do it. Okay, especially if you don't have many clients. It will feel very awkward for you if it's your first client and you feel good with 75, but when they ask you what your fees are, you say 120. Energetically, they will feel that you are uncomfortable, and they will feel uncomfortable too. Okay, so we're talking about having a price tag accordingly to your feelings, which is a bit, it's a lot to do with the quantum field rather than marketing, but it's what works, because when you're talking to someone over the phone, you can feel if they're smiling. You can't see them, but you can tell if they're smiling or not.
Yes. Yes. Right? I mean, I was in that situation last week, and I was, I had like 3 demos where I got people on a call, and they had a free call with me, and I didn't assess them, but I listened to what their goals were and what they wanted to achieve in terms of their speech. And they were all adults. And actually, if you looked at all 3 of them, you would say, well, maybe they couldn't really afford my services. But let's not judge people, because actually whatever their pain is, they will put their own value on that. And if they want to achieve that in a certain time scale, and you can give them those results in that time scale, then it's then it's worth whatever it's worth, you know.
Exactly. It's priceless.
And
Yeah.
I now don't compare myself to
You
to
can't.
other competitors.
Yep.
I'm actually probably more expensive than other competitors, but they wanted to work with me because they could sense that excitement, that energy that I
Mm-hmm.
was coming across and saying, look, I can do this and that and that and that
Mm-hmm.
with you. And if we put you together, we could get results, you know. So I
Yeah.
actually ended up putting two people together out of those three. They got a slightly reduced rate because they were two together.
Mm-hmm.
But this morning, the funny thing is, I had a kind of energetic kind of buzz, and I thought,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just do an Easter special. And I went out there and just sent them an email saying, well, we haven't started yet, but if you actually pay in full for this 6-week program, you get this discount, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a lot more bang for your buck, if you like.
Yeah.
And so the value had increased, but
Mm-hmm.
actually they wanted to take action
Yeah.
and they didn't mind paying that huge amount for a 6-week program.
Yeah, and that's why you need those techniques, right? Because when you know exactly what to do, you feel more confident. Then that confidence will help you to increase your price. But if you're not sure where you are on why you're doing that, there's no way you can increase your price. So first, you really need to understand your why. Okay, so some of the questions you can be asking yourself to understand your why is you need to find out, first of all, why you're doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
so find out why you're doing what you're doing. So why did you choose to be a speech therapist? Why?
Yeah.
And really think about it, because sometimes you think, oh yeah, I know, but no, really think about, why you chose what you to do what you're doing. Then think about, why do you want to do this? Because
Exactly.
sometimes
Yeah.
you have a degree but you don't want to do it, and then it's a whole different story. So think about, why do you want to do this? So why do you want to do this job? Basically, that's the question you need to answer. Then you need to think about, and you need to ask yourself, what do you want to achieve with your work? Okay, what do you want to achieve with your work? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then, but when I ask this question, it's not about your clients, it's about yourself. Remember
Mm-hmm.
this, because it's very easy for us to say, I want to help people, I want to create a big impact. That's what I hear all the time from coaches and other therapists. When tons of coaches and therapists that I talk, that I interview each week. So it's very important that you focus on yourself, on your job. Obviously, you don't want to be self-centered, but when you asking those questions, it's about you. It's not about your clients, right? So
Yeah.
what?
Exactly. I was going to ask you because I can see that I don't know if she's still here. Nefertari's not on yet, I don't think, but she's left a comment saying, "Great topic," you know.
Yeah.
So
It is a great topic. We really need to be thinking about ourselves, is because we usually think about helping others, but what's that for us? Why are you
yeah,
doing this? What's your why? Because your why will be your motivation to keep working, to learn the technology, to learn the secrets, right? Because Bev
yes,
can tell you all the secrets how you do these things. So really, you need to be thinking about, why do you want to learn this? What's that for you? Right? So
exactly. Yeah.
what
I
do you
was just
want to
going to
be
ask
working?
people.
Sure.
Um, I can see that there's 4 people on watching this. So if any of you are watching it, you know, just drop a comment. I can't watch all my Facebooks all at the same time, but um, Pauline, you're there. Thank you, Pauline, for coming on. And if there's any comments you want to make, you know, why do we do what we do as a speech therapist, and are we worth that in terms of what we charge? You
Mhm.
know, what do you think about that charging?
Okay. So this is the first step. Ask the why, right?
Mm,
Then the second step would be to find your sweet spot.
mm,
Which number, which figure do you feel comfortable with? Okay. So you really need to find that. that. It doesn't matter if you think, wow, it's too low for now. That's fine. Okay, what are you comfortable with right now? And then you will work, on increasing your fees later. But for now, what's the number that comes to your mind that you feel comfortable about charging? So you really need to think about that number. So think about that number. You have it. You have a number now. So that's your sweet spot. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what's a sweet spot, you might ask? Okay. The sweet spot is you have to feel that you're comfortable enough to be charging people that amount. You know that you can bring results. You know that people will benefit from your work. So how much can you value your work? Okay, so that's
Mm-hmm.
the sweet spot. You feel comfortable because you know that by paying that you will deliver, or maybe that you will even, that you will even over deliver. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
That's a really good point, isn't it? Because that point that you've talked, that sweet
Spot.
spot. Sorry, I was thinking of the word. It's a long day. That that sweet spot. You need to feel comfortable, but that energy inside you needs to be transferred
Yeah,
to the other person, so they also see that as a good value. So, for
yeah.
example, this morning when I was speaking to this one of these paired groups, like and I was speaking to one of them, and I hadn't heard about the other person, whether she was going to come on as well and take this 6-week program. But this one girl I was speaking to, she was saying, yeah, I want to spend my birthday money on this 6-week program.
That's
I was
beautiful.
like, and I just felt the pressure inside me thinking, oh, she's going to spend her birthday money on me. And it was a lot of money. I don't get that sort of birthday money, so she must have put all her birthday
Yeah.
money all together to pay for this 6
You
week
see how
program.
important that solving that problem was for her, right? So
Mm,
that's what we need to remember. We are there to solve problems. We are not there to sell our products or our services. We are there to help people to thrive, right? To be what they want to be. Okay, so they want to get to a certain level, and you can help them to get there. There's actually no money that would pay for that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, so when you said about what are your goals in your own business as a speech therapist or whatever job you're doing, that's important to know, but it's also important to know what your clients' goals are.
Mm-hmm.
Because this young lady, she's actually a carer in in a care home for the elderly, and she's not actually earning that much. She's doing shift work,
Mm-hmm.
um, but she's still willing to put in the work and put in the money
Mm-hmm.
to pay for the 6-week program. And her goal is to become a manager in a hospital. So she wants to do an
Mm-hmm.
MSc in hospital management or whatever, um, in order to reach that goal, that career, which will then mean that she'll be earning more than what
Yeah.
she's currently earning. So that's a big goal, but she
Mm-hmm.
knows she's got to take steps towards
Yeah.
that. And as a speech therapist, we need to know that with our expertise and experience, whatever that is, whether we're newly qualified, and our knowledge as well, whether we're newly qualified or whether we've got 30 years of experience, like I have, we still have these fears, don't we, of
Mm-hmm.
whether we
Mm-hmm.
can charge that much
Yeah. Yeah.
and whether we're worth that.
So imagine if she doesn't take that step, she'll never achieve her goal. Okay, so imagine that how big the impact, the positive impact you're gonna have in her life. Okay, so what we need to remember is that usually people, they have goals that they need to achieve, but they look to the top of the stairs and they forget that they need to concentrate on the first step. Okay, so whatever you are on that, though, that in that uh, which step you are, whatever you are on that path, that's, it's so important. That's how you're going to make a difference. So by not serving them, what you actually doing a disservice to them, right? So we need to be there and we need to be serving. I had a client, she came to me and she had all these qualifications. She kept studying and studying and studying, but she had like one client that she was seeing for free. Okay, so what we need to remember is that if we don't help people, right, we're actually doing a disservice to them. So imagine having a hospital full of patients with flu. I don't want to say the name because my affect, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yeah, of
But I
course.
can't say online because sometimes, you know, that there's censorship if you mention the name.
Okay.
And so the flu 19, let's put it this way. I'm not saying it's a flu, it's just I don't want to mention the name. So what happened is, imagine a hospital full of patients. They're ill. They need help, right? And then you are a doctor and you walk past them and you said, no, I just study because I needed to know, you know, things, and I just gonna use it for myself. I don't want to help anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about that? What a horrible doctor! But it seems like it's acceptable for a therapist to do that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I
And
think
it's not.
we can give excuses, can't we? I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be honest. Even I was thinking, oh, now this is going to be a bit of a stretch. I've got one adult who is she's got pronunciation difficulties, but they're different from the other adult. And now I'm going to try and put them together in a group. And one is working on one set of aims and the other's working on another set of aims. How am I going to do that? You know, and there's
Yeah.
all these excuses thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have put them into a group. Maybe I should have seen them individually. And, you know,
Yeah.
doubts start coming in, don't they? And you think, oh, well, maybe I'm not really good at this. And we all have those feelings, but we've got to step out
Yeah, we
out of our
do,
comfort
and that's normal. We do it even, you know, as a mother with our children. We never know if we're doing the right thing. This will always be there. I think the ratio is 6 per 1. So 1 positive thought and 6 negative ones. So you think about, I think you're gonna write a book, right? That's 1 positive thought, and then you're gonna have 6 negative thoughts. A book? Who are you to write a book? Who is going to publish your book? You can't even write properly. You know, there will be 6. When you know that, you already expect those negative thoughts to happen, and then you just say to them, out. Or you can use a technique which is actually scientific. That is, you look at your thoughts and you say, cancel, cancel. Because you know that that's just your fear. And your fear is there to protect you. Because if you fail, then it's going to be painful. So your fear is there to actually protect you, because if you don't try, you're not going to fail. But when you know the mechanism behind these negative thoughts, you can actually, it's easier for us to make a decision not to listen to them.
Well, you've given us so many tips there, haven't you? Thank you so much, G.
No,
And
it's a
I'll
pleasure.
definitely have you on again. So, how do people get in touch with you? What's the
So
best place?
I've got my Facebook group, which is called Mind and Clients Mastery Group. And also through my Facebook, which is my name, G Stradioto. That's going to be a little bit difficult to find. But if you just type G, I'm sure, you know, I'll be there at the top. So yeah, or obviously, you know, maybe through Bev, if you can't find me, she'll be able to direct to my page. I also have like a Facebook page which is called Frustration to Creation, which is probably a little bit easier to remember.
Okay.
So yeah, so you know, just like very quickly, I won't take long, but I just want to talk a little bit about increasing your fees. If you feel like, okay, so my sweet spot is too low, what do I do? Because I can't, you know, I have bills to pay. I can't keep charging this price. How do I increase, you know, my fees? Increasing the feelings, and you know, as well, that will actually be good for you financially. So what you can do is to have like a quantum leap, okay, with this. So try to attach a positive feeling to that new figure. Okay, so the way our mind works, So when you think about like charging 120 per session, probably you're not going to feel good about it. Okay. But when I don't know, I'm not even sure how
Full
much you guys
transparency, you can
charge.
go and have a look at my pricing page.
I'm just saying, like, I don't even know how much you guys are charging, but I'm just like giving. If you think about, okay, my sweet spot is £75 per session, but I want to charge 120 per session, and I don't feel good about it. So what you can do, it's something very simple. You actually attach a positive feeling to that new figure. Okay, so think about all the things that you can do with that extra money. I'm sure you're going to feel better when you think about that. So think about all you can do with that extra money, and then when you feel better, you'll be able to feel, that connection with your new number. Another thing that you can do is, apart from linking a positive feeling to this new figure, is to use quantum jumping with water. That's a great way as well. Okay, so what you do, you're going to do like a quick meditation. It doesn't need to be complicated. It can be 2 or 3 minutes. That would be fine. You just go to a place no one will bother you. Sit down quietly for a few minutes. Okay, so imagine yourself in a nice place. Can be at the park or the beach or even outer space. Some people likes to go out space. That's completely fine. So just imagine that nice place, and then you feel relaxed. Okay, breathing deeply and breathe out slowly, because when you breathe out slowly, you feel calmer. Okay, so you breathe out slowly. Now you are in this very nice place, and you're feeling the peace. You're feeling, you're feeling good. Really, you're feeling calm. Then what you're gonna do? You will actually find a device to trigger what you want to have. So water is a great way. It doesn't need to be water. It can be like when I'm brushing my teeth or whatever it is. But I like to do it with water, because water has power. It has all the molecular, how do you say,
Yeah, it has all those molecular properties, isn't it?
yeah, that you can actually manipulate. And Dr. Emoto talks about that a lot. So what you're going to do is that you have a trigger device, a device that will trigger what you want. So choose drinking water, and then on your meditation, you make a contract with yourself that every time you drink water, you're getting closer to your goal. So if your goal is to be able to increase your fees, you do that. So you make a contract with yourself. When you're feeling relaxed, you are there meditating, and then you say, every time from now on, every time I drink water, I'll feel better about charging £120 per session. Okay, and then you do that until you actually are feeling okay. And it would be good if you combine those two exercises. Okay.
Wow, that sounds really good. I've never thought of making those associations with your thoughts and a kind of physical action.
Yeah, because what you want to do, you want to reprogram your brain, right? And by doing that, you actually using the visual, which is the meditation, and you doing the action, which is the what's the name?
Drinking the
Kinesthetic.
water.
The
Okay, yes.
So you're doing something, and if you want to actually add affirmations, which would be the verbal side of things, would be great. So you have all those three combined. That would be perfect. But with the affirmations, it needs to be something that you believe in. It needs to be on your sweet spot as well. Because if you say like, I am a millionaire, and you don't feel like that, it's not going to work, right? So it has to be congruent with your feelings. So make an affirmation that is nice, and it will actually increase your vibration. It can be something very subtle, like, I do an amazing work with my clients. It can be something like that. Or I have a wonderful business in a wonderful way. I work with wonderful people for a wonderful pay. It can be something that rhymes as well.
Wow, I didn't know you were interesting as well. Okay, right. Well, we've had a fantastic time, a bit of fun as well. And, I think money is sometimes a bit of a taboo subject.
Yeah.
especially as therapists, we think, well, we're here to serve, which is, of course, we are. We're here to serve and help people, but that doesn't mean we have to do it for free or for peanuts. So yeah, it's great to have you on, G, and
Pleasure.
please send me all your links so I can put it in the show notes when the podcast comes out. So this is actually going to be live in YouTube, and for those of you that are watching, make sure that you put some comments in there, any questions that you have relating to your money mindset and how you charge. You know, I don't need to know the details, but maybe you're feeling that you're not worthy to charge a certain amount, maybe because you're going either from face to face or to online, or whatever your reason is. It'd be good to know what those reasons are. And if there are any questions in there, I'm sure that G can pop in there. I think you're in my Facebook group, Teletherapy in Action Secrets group.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I am.
If there are any comments, then tag G, and if there are any questions, maybe she'll want to comment on those as well. So thank you everyone for joining us at Women in Action with Bev Jessup, and thank you, G, for being one of my guests.
My pleasure.
Okay,
Take care.
take care.
Bye bye now.
Bye.